Hey guys, welcome to PolitiBrawl. This is Matt Miller, and watch these left-wing journalists set a trap for President Trump, expecting him to walk into this ambush, not knowing what's going to happen, and panic live in front of the crowd. But how President Trump responds to this is exactly why he is so bulletproof and immune to the left-wing media's manipulative tactics. Take a look. See, they smile and shake his hand like this is friendly.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Just imagine what's going through President Trump's mind right now, but watch carefully at how he responds.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner, a first question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke. And I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working, or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love if you can answer the question on your rhetoric and why you believe that black voters should trust you with another 4 years.
I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act?
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work, in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here.
How is she going to recover from that? I don't think she was expecting him to give it right back to her.
Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition of that.
Sir, I'm asking you a question, a very direct question.
Define it for me, if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't.
Trump calmly but directly answers questions that would get most other politicians, Republican or Democrat, completely rattled and would get them completely in their head. But I think the first aspect of this is that Trump doesn't really put a lot of weight on this interview. There's no one interview that Trump does where he seems to really care that much. He doesn't look like he's putting in a lot of effort, meaning he's not trying to compensate or project something that isn't authentic. If he comes out and he's in a good mood, then you'll see it reflected in how he is. If he's in a bad mood, and I think he was in a good mood and then was put into a bad mood by this reporter's question, you're gonna hear that completely unfiltered. You're going to hear his thoughts. He doesn't really filter his thoughts or choose his words super carefully. He just fires back like anybody would in a conversation with somebody who's being rude to them. And this is exactly the attribute that won over so many Americans 3 times in a row when he ran. We are not used to politicians acting like this, talking like this, and going to battle against the media, the legacy media, the corporate media that's guarding the narrative and the agenda of the elites. In other words, Trump doesn't give a fuck. And he's not scared of these reporters. He's not scared of his political opponents. He'll say exactly what he thinks, and we know what's on his mind at any given time. And at this point, this was right up before the election in 2024. These reporters should have been able to anticipate this. They came out hard, trying to trap him, trying to get him on the back foot. And, they accused him of all these things, some of which these things Trump actually did. But instead of addressing each individual one, because that's just not how you win in a situation like this where you have a hostile reporter, he spoke about her demeanor and her conduct directly and said, look, if you're going to be interviewing a presidential candidate, somebody who was formerly president, after you were 35 minutes late, you should have some graciousness. You should have some hospitality and respect for who it is that you're interviewing. And also he mentioned the false pretenses. Kamala was supposed to be there, and she bailed on it. And I actually suspect that that was the plan all along. This was supposed to be a Trump versus the media dog pile, Trump against all these reporters, and I think it was set up exactly like this for a reason. But do you see Trump sweating? Do you see him getting nervous at all? Is he tripping over his words? Absolutely not. He calmly, bluntly fires back with the same energy that he's getting, and it's just been so successful at this point. I would say he is immune to any of this gotcha journalism or any of this rudeness or this media spinning that we see so prevalent in the corporate media. President Trump wins again. But I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are about this and how Trump carries himself in these sorts of situations. Let me know in the comments. If you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell so you guys get notified when we post brand new videos here on PolitiBrawl Daily. And keep in mind, part of what we're doing is bringing you guys relevant flashback clips that are important to what's going on in today's news cycle. Thank you for staying tuned, and I'll see you guys next time.